Hi everyone, welcome to Be So Light. My name is Felicia, aka known as Priestess Michaela, and Taino name is Niana. Okay, so want to talk about two things. I'm going to talk about fear, and I'm going to back up and talk about why I'm doing YouTube. Okay, my videos, those of you that have been watching my videos since day one, since I've started, I want you to understand something. I use a lot of scenarios and life things to talk about things that I'm talking about. I am not on here personally talking about you. And I just wanted to kind of clear that up because I feel like some people might have thought I was talking about them, and I'm not talking about you. Unless I say your name. You know, unless I say your name, then yeah, I'm giving a reference to you. But I talk a lot in scenarios. I use life scenarios and things that I come in contact with throughout my life. That's what I talk about. So I wanted to clear that up because sometimes I think people, they'll watch things, and if I personally know you or what have you, whatever that may be, sometimes people might think I'm talking about them. I'm not talking about you. It might be triggering something in you, but I'm not talking about you. If I say your name, then I'm talking about you. But if I don't say your name, I'm not talking about you. All right? So let's just get that off the table right there. So the reason why, once again, I'm doing these videos because I was just called to start doing my work and getting my work out there and start teaching. And YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, it's just one of those places where people of like-mindedness can come and do their work. It is also a place to be targeted. You know, people don't like what you do, and you know, they can do that. But I don't care. I don't have time to play target games on other people's agendas of what they think I should be doing, or they think what I should be talking about. I have a big mission of things that I'm doing and I'm carrying out, and that is to help as many people as I can. Now, I'm Capricorn. I'm raw. I say it like it is. I do not sugarcoat anything. You don't want me to sugarcoat things, or that's too much for you, my channel is not for you. I say it like it is, and I don't have to cuss, say all these bad language stuff to get my point across. I say it in a very subtle way, and you know when I'm getting my point across because I do the head tilt and that. That's my signature. Or I'll say, that's my signature. So, but all in all, I'm just here to help get people motivated, get you to think about things, and get you unstuck. Get it unstuck. Okay? Because I think a lot of times we get so bogged down and stuck in our head and our mindset that this is the only way to be, this is the only way to act, this is the only way to function, this is the only way. No, it's not. No, it's not. Take a look. So that's what I wanted to reiterate on what I'm doing here. And just because people are not subscribing doesn't mean I don't have people watching my videos. I know who's watching because I see it show up later. Okay? So I must be getting somebody's attention because you spend time and you click and you come over and you watch. My whole purpose is to make sure that you know who you are and know how powerful you are, and that you hold the key to your destiny. I want to be that lightning bolt that gets you to look at something different, that gets you to say, there's more to my life than just this right now. How I'm functioning in my world, how I'm doing in my world, whatever is going on right now in my world. There's more to my life. There is more to me. There is more of me. There's more to me. There's more to my life. I don't care if you're up in your 70s, your 80s, your 90s. If you're not buried in the ground and you're still above the ground and breathing, you still got things to do. You still have dreams to make. You still have things to do. It's not over until it's over. And even if you get into the ground and become the ethers, that's just a new transfer in who you are. Moving back into your original form in spirit, plasma. Okay? So, I'm going to talk about this, and I need everyone to pay attention to what I'm talking about. Fear. Fear, 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 fear. Fear. What are you bringing? Let me reword it this way. Fear. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people live in fear 24/7. If they're not dreaming about something that they wake up with and they fear that their house is going to get robbed or something, they have this fear. Fear. Fear like you're never going to make enough money to do this. Fear like you're never going to meet the right guy or the right woman or whatever that is for you in life. Fear of relationships. Fear of being betrayed. Fear of being not slender. Fear of being overweight and emotional. Fear of the family. What people think. Fear of judgment. Fear of being in your own skin, your own color. Fear of not having long enough hair. Fear of not being accepted. Fear of not... God, the list just goes on and what we have fear on. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Fear. Why are you inviting it into your sanctuary, sitting it at the table, and feeding it caviar and champagne? What, you bored? You need to have fear stay with you? How did you become so friendly with fear? When did you first learn about fear? There's this movie called Apocalyptos. And I love that movie because it's very indigenous in every way, shape, or form. And very spiritual. Connected to the spirit. And there's this scene where the father and the son are in the trees in this setting like at the Amazons in the jungle, deep in the mountain. They're standing in the spirits of the trees. And there's this tribe of people that are coming by after they just completed this hunt. And these tribe of people are coming past them, and the son is looking at the eyes of the people like they've been pushed out of their place of where they were living due to someone coming in and was trying to enslave them and had killed off part of their tribe. So now they were pushing forward, going further into the jungle, further into the mountains, to get away from these group of people. It's Mayans, okay? The Aztec, the Mayans. So after they pass by, the father looks at the son and sees his facial features of his eyes widen and shock on his face, and he sees it, fears coming into him. And he walks up to his son and he says, "What are you doing?" And his son looks at his father and says, "What?" He says, "I did not raise you with that. I did not teach you that. Don't allow that in to you and then bring it back to our home, our tribe. Don't bring it in. Leave it. I didn't raise you that way." And that was such a powerful moment in that movie, Apocalypto. How the father looks at his son and says, "I did not raise you to have fear. I did not raise you with that." But the son allowed the fear of what the people experienced to come into him and to start pondering it. Now here he is, he's pondering it. Now he's going to start to give birth to it. Here he is, he's going to carry it. Now he's going to take it to the tribe home. He's inviting it in. So if you haven't seen that movie, this movie is not for the weak of heart. It is very down. It was produced by Mel Gibson. He did an excellent job with this movie. He got all the history down, the makeup down, the tribal marks down, everything. But it is not for the faint of heart to watch, because it is pretty brutal how they have to survive and the things, what they have to do. But it's a very, very good movie. So, but he had to learn to let go of that fear. And his journey in as the movie goes on, and how you have to survive and own yourself. And this movie takes you on that journey on how you have to get rid of fear. Same thing what I was telling you about your homework assignment was going to be to watch the movie After Earth. And I wanted you to catch the cueing about ghosting. How did the father master that, and how the son had to master that towards the very end to beat the creature. That creature represents, in its sense, smells fear. The same with Jeepers Creeper. Okay, that's a horror movie. When you look at that movie and you break that down, his whole sensors for hunting people is to sense their fear. He's reptilian. He's a reptilian monster, out for only so many days to go on a hunt, to ravish and hunt people, and he senses fear. He goes up and senses that fear. He smells it. He looks for it. And the one that fears him the most, that's the one he's going to pick out and hunt down, because they have so much fear in them, they're going to taste better to eat. So, not to be graphic, but I'm trying to get my point across. And I'm using these scenarios to paint the picture of how are you staying in fear? And why are you letting it keep you blocked? From your dreams, from love, from moving, from changing. The fear of the unknown. See, it's comfortable to stay where you are because that's what you already know. My elders used to call it warm shit. It's comfortable to stay in your warm shit because you already know it's that. You already know what the outcome is. But for God's sakes, what if you had to take a deep breath and to move past your fear and to take that leap, like the card of the tarot, which is the Fool. That's the number one first card in Tarot, the Fool. So here's the Fool, always depicted as walking happy, joyful. Here's a cliff, but he's taking a step. Is he really going to fall? Is he really being carefree, or she being carefree? What's going to happen? Same thing in the movie with Harrison Ford, and they were on the hunt for the Crystal Skulls, Temple of Doom. I think it was Temple of Doom, the Crystal Skulls. And there's this scene where here's this they're on the edge of this cave, this ledge, and here's this other ledge way on the opposite side, and he's reading all the clues to decode where the grail is. They have to find this cup, the cup of life. They're looking for the cup of life. And now here he is on this ledge, and there's a pitfall way down, and he's trying to solve this puzzle, and he finally solves it. And it's talking about how you have to step out and just trust. And you see he takes the book, and Indiana Jones is his name, and he takes the book and he's like, okay. He takes a breath and he's like, okay, the code says I gotta step out. And he's got that fear, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna step out, I'm gonna step out. And then he closes his eyes and he steps out, and then boom. There was a ledge there that was invisible, that walked straight across to the other end. It was a huge rock ledge. But while he was standing on a ledge, you couldn't see it because it looked like it was going to be a pitfall. And then finally he takes some dust, some of the gravel, and throws it out, and there's the ledge right there to appear. The illusion was there was nothing there. You're going to fall straight down. So what is it going to take for you to step out? To stop inviting fear to the table. I used to tell my mom this. She would worry too much and do things. Now see, I'm saying my mom. And I was saying, Mom, stop inviting fear to the table, giving it a placemat, a plate, a fork, a spoon, a knife, a cup, and bringing out the silver platter of food and putting it on the plate. Stop giving it a place at the table, please. Uninvite it. Uninvite it. Get rid of it. And this is what we have to do in our life. Sometimes we have to just take that leap. Sometimes we just have to take that step. There's no guarantees. You're never going to know unless you do it. You're really not. You're never going to know. And if you have something so deep inside of you that's just, you got to give birth to it. If you don't listen to it, you feel like you're just going to, explode. Like you just can't hold it in. You got to do it. Then you got to take a step forward and do it. But you can't have fear when you're trying to manifest. It's never going to happen. You can't have worry when you're trying to create and bring things in. Can't do it. You have to know who you are and totally trust 100% that you are that God being, that you can do that. And this is where people get themselves tripped up because they can't trust themselves. They can't do it. They can't get into that place and do it. So where did you learn it? Where did you learn that? And why did you bring it back to your tribe, back to your home? Why did you bring it there? And how are you passing it on in your surrounding family and home? How are you doing that? So I really wanted to hop on here and juggle the mind and get you to think about that. There's been times where I had the deepest fear that I wasn't going to beat my cancer. Like, okay, it came in, and I remember, and this is a good way I'm going to close this out. I remember after I got cleared, got everything out of the neck, tonsils, everything removed. And I remember after 2-3 months after surgery, I was healing, and then they had to do every 6 months, you go in for a test, you get checked. And I remember for the first 2 to 3 years, going back and forth, going in, getting underneath the scan, my heart rate would go up. I'd be thinking, oh God, what if they find another growth? Oh God, what if they find... My mind started going through that. I already was setting myself up with this fear. Oh, well, what if they find a growth? What if they find this? What if they... And then it even starts when you're thinking you're done with that journey, and then when they see your history of what you had before, if you have something going on, you might be 6, 7, 8 years out, healed, and then just because of what your past history is, they come back and say, well, we're going to go ahead and do a CT scan. We're going to do the blood work and look at your cells, your white blood cells. We want to make sure because you have been low before, and we want to check the whole... Your whole demeanor starts to go, oh, what if they find something? And then your whole mind starts going there. And I would get in that space, and I would go all the way back to the time sitting on the edge of the table in the exam room when the doctor has my chart and comes in and tells me, you have lymphoma, 98% sure. And I'm thinking, what? So fear should not be governing you, should not be holding you back, should not keep you from love, should not even keep you from yourself, should not even keep you from your dreams. Because that's one thing and one entity alone that you want to unfriend, that you want to block, that you want to ghost, you want to show an emoji, get out. Whatever it takes to promote that, to get that out of your space. Show it the door. Kick it out. Because how else are you going to create? Unless that's all you want to create is a world of fear. Show it the door. And then once you close the door, put on the door, fear does not live here anymore. Fear does not live here anymore. Only strength, inspiration, the sacred divineness of who you are as creator beings lives here. That is far more inviting than the other one, because the other one is draining. At least these others that you invite, the empowering ones, the inspirational ones, the creator ones, they're going to come and sit at the table, and all of a sudden your table becomes the round table of creation. What will you create? Since fear doesn't have a seat anymore. It got filled up with passion. It got filled up with creator. It got filled up with inspiration. It got filled up with that beautiful empowerment and the divineness to know thyself. That's who's sitting at the table now. Yes. Isn't that so becoming? So, let it be done. Let it all be done. And let you sit in the glory of who you are at your table and create from there without the presence of fear. All right, lovely. I gotta go. Got things to do. I'm doing something. Anyway, be good to yourselves. Sleep well tonight. And for God's sakes, if you're having dreams and you're trying to figure out what you're dreaming about, please decode your dreams. Pay attention to your dreams instead of having some panic attack about it or some anxiety about it. Whatever. Decode the dream, please. Come on now. Anyway, be good to yourself. Much love to you. Be soul light. Thank you for being here on my channel. Like, subscribe, and share. But fear doesn't live here anymore. Bye-bye.